Some people don't just fear falling, they fear their knee giving out. Fear of standing up from a chair and feeling that sharp twinge on the very first push. Fear of stepping down and the knee complaining like it's warning you, not today. Fear of walking to the corner and halfway through thinking, what if it gets worse? What if I don't make it back okay? And what worries me most as a physical therapist is what happens next. People start avoiding things. They avoid squatting, avoid stairs, avoid walking more than the basics. And without realizing it, they slip into a quiet cycle. Because the less you use your legs, the weaker they get. And the weaker they get, the more the knee has to compensate. Pain goes up, confidence goes down, and the body gets stiffer and stiffer. But I want you to understand something. In most cases, your knee isn't betraying you. It's asking for support. It's asking the right muscles to start doing their job again. That's why today I'm going to teach you 5 chair exercises, safe and easy, to strengthen your legs after 60 and reduce the load on your knee. No impact, no getting down on the floor, and no risky movements. You'll feel that you can train with control, safely, and without that fear of making everything worse. And stick with me until the end, because besides the 5 exercises, I'll show you how to build a quick routine with them, the right way, so you can get out of a sedentary rut safely, build leg strength, and start walking with more stability and confidence. Now let me explain why this happens so often after 50 or 60. There's a very common factor behind this knee giving out feeling that almost nobody explains clearly: sarcopenia. It's the natural loss of muscle mass and strength with age, and it speeds up when we spend more time inactive. And why does that affect knee pain? Because strong muscle is protection. Your thigh, glutes, and calves work like shock absorbers and like a smart brake that keeps the knee aligned. When those muscles weaken, the knee is more exposed. It takes more load, loses stability, and starts complaining during simple tasks, standing up, walking, going downstairs. So many times people think the problem is only the joint. But in real life, the knee is saying, I don't have enough support. And the good news is, support can be rebuilt, safely, without impact, and without starting with hard exercises. That's why a chair is an excellent entry point. It gives you control, reduces fear, and lets you strengthen the right way, at your pace. If you follow this video, you'll have 5 simple exercises that activate the muscles that truly protect the knee during walking. And quick note, if you like this kind of content, safe exercises explained step by step, without the hype, subscribe now, because I post videos every week focused exactly on strength, stability, and confidence so you can move well again after 60. Before the 5 exercises, 3 simple rules so you do this safely. 1. Pain rule. You can feel muscle effort, but you should not feel a sharp stab. If you feel mild discomfort, you don't need to stop everything. Just reduce the range, make it smaller, or cut the reps. 2. Stable chair. Use a sturdy chair with no wheels, and if possible, place it against a wall so it won't slide. And do everything slowly, with control. Here, quality matters more than speed. 3. The 24-hour rule. The right exercise tends to leave the knee the same or better afterward. If every time you do it, your knee gets more swollen, warm, or clearly worse over the next 24 hours, the dose was too much, so scale it down. And if you have significant swelling, locking, major instability, or pain that only gets worse, it's worth getting a medical evaluation to understand the cause, and working with a physical therapist for a personalized plan. Living with pain isn't normal. All right, let's go to the 5 chair exercises, from easiest to hardest. Before starting the exercises, we're going to wake up the calves because they improve circulation, switch on the ankle, and help the leg support walking better, which takes some raw load off the knee. Sit in the chair with your feet firmly on the floor, hip-width apart. Keep a comfortable posture and rest your hands on your thighs. Now lift and lower your heels like you're pumping your foot. Raise the heel, squeeze for half a second at the top, and lower slowly. Then repeat at a steady pace, no rushing and no slamming your foot down. If you want to make it more complete, you can alternate 10 reps with both feet together, then 10 alternating 1 foot at a time. Do this for 30 to 45 seconds. The goal is to feel the calves warm up and the legs wake up, without knee pain. Exercise 5, seated knee extension, strengthens the thigh and supports the knee. Now let's move to the seated knee extension. This exercise is great because it strengthens the front of your thigh. And that muscle group works like a brake and support system for the knee during everyday tasks like standing up from a chair, walking, and stepping up. And because you do it seated, you can train with more control and less fear. Sit on a chair with a comfortable posture, feet flat on the floor, and your body stable on the seat. Pick one leg. Without leaning your torso back and without lifting your hips off the chair, slowly straighten that leg, guiding your foot forward to a comfortable range. Near the end, pause briefly, 1 second, then lower slowly. The secret here is the tempo. Instead of kicking, think up in 2 seconds, hold 1, down in 2. That control makes the thigh work harder and protects the knee. And it prevents a common mistake, forcefully locking the knee at the top. You don't need to snap the joint. This is a smooth extension, like you're aligning the knee, not forcing it. Now pay attention to what you should feel. You should feel a mild burn and work in the thigh. If you feel a sharp twinge in the knee, you don't have to stop. Just reduce the range and make the movement shorter. In many cases, pain shows up exactly when someone tries to straighten too far or move too fast. Do 2 sets of 8 to 12 reps per leg. If you feel weaker today or you're nervous, start with 6 to 8 reps and build up gradually. As you progress, you can use an ankle weight to increase resistance or a resistance band. Exercise 4, seated march, high knees. Now we're going to the seated march, which looks simple but is powerful. It activates the hip muscles and improves leg control in the walking pattern. And that helps a lot when the knee hurts, because you start distributing effort through the body instead of dumping it all into the joint. Sit on the chair with your feet on the floor and your posture tall, like a string is gently pulling the top of your head upward. Rest your hands on the sides of the seat or on your thighs just for stability, without gripping for dear life. Now lift one knee at a time like you're marching, bringing it up to a comfortable height and slowly lowering it back down. Then alternate to the other leg, keeping a steady rhythm. The main point is not turning this into a torso swing. A common mistake is leaning back or twisting your body to get the leg up. Instead, keep your chest open, your core lightly engaged, and make the movement clean. Lift, brief pause, lower with control. If it feels hard, lower the height of the knee. Smaller height with control beats higher with compensation every time. You can do it 2 ways. By time, 30 to 45 seconds of continuous marching. By reps, 10 to 12 marches on each side. Either way, the goal is to feel the hips and the front of the thigh working and to notice the leg feels more awake for walking afterward. If you feel a sharp twinge in the knee during the march, lower the height and shorten the movement. And if your hips feel very stiff, start slower and gradually build your rhythm. Exercise 3, pillow squeeze, strengthens the hip adductors. Now let's do an exercise a lot of people underestimate, but that helps a ton with leg stability, squeezing a pillow between your knees. The adductors, the muscles on the inner thigh, help control leg alignment and give you more steadiness when you stand up, walk, and change direction. When they're weak or offline, it's common for the knee to feel unstable and for the body to compensate. Sit on a chair with your feet flat on the floor, hip-width apart. Place a pillow, a soft ball, or even a folded towel between your knees. Adjust your posture and keep your torso comfortable. No leaning forward. Now squeeze the pillow as if you're trying to hold it there, firm but without holding your breath. Squeeze for 3 seconds, then relax slowly. Repeat. The key is feeling the inner thighs working without knee pain. You don't need to crush it with maximum force. Think moderate, steady pressure, and pay attention to your breathing. Lots of people unknowingly hold their breath. Keep your breathing natural. It actually helps your body relax and control the movement better. Do 2 sets of 8 to 12 squeezes, holding 3 seconds each. If you want to make it even more effective, on the last rep of each set, you can hold a little longer, 5 seconds, as long as it stays comfortable. Exercise 2. Seated hip abduction with a mini band. Now we're moving to one of the most important exercises for the knee, activating the glute med on the side of the hip. I like to call this muscle the knee's bodyguard because it helps keep the leg aligned and prevents that common pattern of the knee collapsing inward during walking, stairs, and sit to stand. When this muscle is weak, the knee ends up compensating and the joint takes more stress. Sit on the chair with a comfortable posture, feet flat on the floor, hip width apart. Place the mini band just above your knees, around mid-thigh. That position is usually more comfortable and safer to start. Keep your feet planted and gently open your knees outward against the band resistance, just a little. Don't overdo it. Hold 1-2 seconds, then return slowly. It's a short, controlled motion. The main point is, don't let your torso rock and don't lift your feet to cheat. The work should come from the hips. You should feel a mild burn on the side of your glute, hip. That's exactly what we want. If you feel it in the front of the knee, that usually means you're opening too far or losing alignment. Make the range smaller and keep it cleaner. Do 2 sets of 10 to 15 reps. If you're just starting, you can do 8 to 10 and build up gradually. This is one of the exercises that most improves the feeling of stability while walking because it switches on the hip to protect the knee on every step. Exercise 1. Sit to stand. Now we're at the most important exercise on the list because it's exactly the movement you need every day, sitting down and standing up. When this pattern gets strong and controlled, walking becomes easier too because your legs start doing the work and the knee stops suffering alone. Sit on a sturdy chair, ideally with the chair against a wall so it doesn't slide. Feet hip width apart, firmly on the floor. Now the detail that protects the knee. Before you stand, lean your torso slightly forward, like your nose is moving toward your toes. That helps distribute effort better and prevents you from pulling through the knee. Now, stand up slowly, and on the way down, lower even slower. Think of a 3-second descent, touching the seat with control. No dropping. Then, stand again. The goal is to feel your thighs and glutes working. If you feel only the knee, the descent is too fast or the range is too much for your level today. Here's the perfect adjustment for anyone who feels pain going too low. Put a pillow on the seat. That raises the chair height so you don't have to bend the knee as much. Simple, but it changes everything. You start at your level, build strength without irritation, and over time, you remove the pillow. Another tip: if you still feel the knee too much, use a mini band while doing this exercise. You'll feel the glute med activate and it can reduce knee overload. I left the link in the first pinned comment to the mini bands I use from Amazon, in case you don't have one yet. 2 quick rules while you do it. Knees point in the same direction as your feet, no collapsing inward, and keep your weight more through the midfoot and heel. If you need support, you can use your arms at first, but try to use as little as possible, just for safety, and reduce it over time. Now that you have the 5 exercises, let me show you how to turn this into a simple routine without overcomplicating it. You don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to do it consistently. First, a reminder of 3 mistakes that make people get stuck. Mistake number 1, doing everything too fast. Speed steals control and dumps load into the knee. Mistake number 2, going too deep too soon, especially in sit to stand. If it hurts, use the pillow, shorten the movement, and build strength gradually. Mistake number 3, letting the knee collapse inward. That's why I included the glute mini band exercise. It helps organize alignment so walking and stairs feel safer. The safest way to start is doing this sequence 2 to 3 times per week on alternating days. Start with the calf warm-up for 30-45 seconds, then do seated knee extensions, seated marching, pillow squeezes, mini band abductions, and finally sit to stand. For each exercise, do 2 sets with a short break to breathe. By week 3, you can increase to 3 sets. If you're starting from 0, you don't need the maximum reps. Do the minimum with good form and build up over the weeks. What matters is the knee feels more stable afterward, not more irritated. Here's the smart progression. First, you increase control and quality. Then, you increase reps. And only after that do you increase difficulty, like removing the pillow for sit to stand or using a slightly stronger band for abduction. That path lowers the risk of irritating the knee because you're building muscle support without fighting the joint. Now I want to ask you something to comment below because it helps me decide future videos. Were you already doing anything to strengthen your legs, or were you sedentary? And tell me your age too, and if you want a more guided, complete step-by-step, how to progress and what to avoid when the knee is sensitive. I left an organized program for that. Knee pain relief codes. It's for anyone who wants a ready-to-go progressive routine with safe exercises explained clearly to strengthen the legs, improve stability, and get back to walking with more confidence, without impact and without getting hurt trying to push through. If you feel like you need a more structured path, click the link in the first pinned comment and take a look when you have a moment. If this video helped you, subscribe to the channel because here I teach safe, easy exercises, especially for people with knee pain after 60, focusing on strength, stability, and confidence to walk better. See you in the next video.